Hey guys, it's Marta. Welcome to February garden, but today we have beautiful weather. We have plus temperatures during the day, during the night. The sun is out, the birds are singing, and that means I'm taking my pruners and I'm starting the pruning season. I will be starting with my Hydrangeas Annabelles. We'll talk about that. I will show you how I prune them, how to use those pruned stems to get new hydrangeas, and I will tell you what I'm doing after I've pruned them and how I take care of them. Let's go. In my garden you will find Annabelle Hydrangeas and Strong Annabelle, which you can also find by the name Incredible. Classic Annabelle is the classic Annabelle that was in the gardening world for years, and then proven winners made a better version, as they call it, the Strong Annabelle. I love them both. I would say yes, Strong Annabelles hold their flowers a bit better, but I really like the shape of classic Annabelles, so I have both of them in the garden. In 2024, the season was quite good for hydrangeas, though we had some dry moments in the spring, but we were using the water to water them because we did not have the rain. They bloomed beautifully, and I really loved that. They had huge flowers, but we had some crazy storms during the summer, and I'm using a lot of things to keep them upright, but some of the flowers were broken. Especially when you get such heavy rain, it's like someone was pouring buckets of water on those huge flowers. That can happen. But overall, 2024 was a great year for my hydrangeas. Hopefully this year will be even better. Over the years, I've been trying different approaches to hydrangeas pruning, and I've tried pruning them in the autumn, so somewhere between October and November. I will show you one that I pruned like this last year. Then I've tried pruning them in January when we had good weather, so that was plus temperatures, no like freezing temperatures during the night and during the day. So in January, I tried in February, and I tried that in March. Did I see any difference in the blooming period or the how big the flowers were? No, nothing. I also tried pruning them harder, almost to the ground, a bit maybe like 30 centimeters. Did I see any difference? No. And I don't know, I just know that if I pruned them really lightly, so I would only cut the flowers, that would be the difference, because the flowers would be smaller. And I just know that however I prune them, they always look the same. When I start pruning my hydrangeas, first I will remove the upper part, the flowers, so I work better. I can see what's happening in the middle of my plant. First of all, I will be removing all the dead stems. How do you know which ones are dead and which ones are alive? When you prune from the upper part, and you will see inside of the stem, if it's white, beige, that means that it's dead. If you can see very close to the skin, like a green circle, you know that this stem is alive. So I will remove all of the dead stems right to the ground. Then I will choose the strongest ones. So the strongest ones would be pencil thick. If the plants are older, you should have some of those. And then I will be pruning them 10 to 40 centimeters above the ground, just above a bud. Let's start with the first one. I just need to be very careful because we have hundreds of crocuses just getting out of the ground. So this hydrangea I pruned in January as a test. I was planting some forgotten alliums in this border, but this one I will be pruning now. So when you look at a stem, you will see that you have the stem, and then you have those little tiny buds just ready to push out some leaves. So we'll be pruning right above this set of those nodes, like half a centimeters above, maybe a few millimeters, so we don't crush them. You can prune them 10 or 20 centimeters above the ground, but just above the set of buds. You can also prune them here, so that will be like almost 50 centimeters above the ground. That is your choice. As I told you, I've been pruning them in different parts of the stem, and the results were always the same. So that's your choice. If you want to have new hydrangea plants taken from your own, it is a great idea to save those stems. But please remember where was the lower and where the upper part. So it's good sometimes to leave the flower so you can remember if you have a lot of stems then. Also look at those buds. You will see the tiny leaves that will be appearing from the buds, and they will be going upwards. And in a second I will tell you how to root them in so you have your own free plants. Okay, so I'm starting to prune this one. I will be removing all of the dead stems, all of the very spindly stems. I will leave just those thick ones, and I will prune them at around 20 centimeters above the ground, just above the node. Look at this. This is a stem that is definitely alive. Look at this beautiful circle of green. That means that the stem is alive. And this one next to it looked pretty good to me, but when I pruned it, I've seen that it's all white inside. And that means that this stem is dead, and we want to prune them right to the ground, because when we leave them, they might rot, something might happen there, some sickness will get into our hydrangeas. So we definitely want to remove all of the dead right to the ground. I always get questions from people that just planted their Annabelles and they have none of the pencil thick stems. What do I do then? Do I leave it? Do I wait a few years to prune it? No, you prune them also same height, but you will only have this thinner stems. But always look also for the dead ones. If they are white inside, they are dead. Remove them right to the ground. Leave those thinner stems, prune them 10 to 40 centimeters above the ground, just above a node, and do everything as I say. Just be mindful that younger plants might not have pencil thick stems. Maybe you want some new plants from your Annabelles. How do we do that? We take a stem that is a healthy stem, that is pencil thick, and we want at least 2 sets of buds. I will be using this one, so I will prune just below the first set of buds. This was growing like this, so this will be our roots, and here we'll get our leaves. We'll put this one, you can put it straight to the ground next to your Annabelles. It's the same soil. I have so many new plants planted just like that. And when you're pruning, it's so easy. You just make a hole, put it in the ground like this, and you will get a new plant. But if you want to be super careful, because some of them will not root in, if you want to do it in a pot, you prepare a pot with potting soil mixed with vermiculite or perlite. You take your stem, but you remember which part was up and which one was down. You put it in the corner, like this one has to be underground. So I push it to the ground and I leave it like that. I just water it and put it in a sheltered position, and I come every like 5 to 6 days and check if the moisture is fine. They should root in. If you want to be even more careful with them, you can put this lower part in a rooting hormone that comes in a powder, and you just dip it in that, put it in, and then you'll have greater rates with them rooting in. But then you will have your free plants. Here is the Annabelle I was talking about in the beginning of this video. This is an Annabelle that I pruned in late October, early November. I can't recall exactly when, but it is pruned. We could leave it like that, but I still in the spring want to see how are the stems. So I will assess if there are any spindly, any dead ones, and I will remove those. I will not be touching any other stems. If you're not sure which stem is dead and which one is not, you just go a little, we prune, and we can see this green circle around, so we know that the stem is alive. Because if you pruned them a few months ago, the top that is pruned will be white. It doesn't mean that it's dead. Try take 1 centimeter off and see if the green is there. If it's there, everything is fine. We're waiting for the leaves. So I'm ready to get to work. You can see behind me, but in front of the Annabelles, you can see my Hydrangea grasses. I will also be pruning them today. You don't need to rush it, but I just like to have this border, you know, like tip-top finished. When I prune, I want to have everything pruned, everything's cleaned. I can then have everything ready for the spring. So with Hydrangea grasses, I shear them down right to the ground, and we will be able to see all of those crocuses pushing through the soil and having those beautiful flowers. The first one is there, so that means in the next few weeks we will be enjoying our first flowers. So when I have everything pruned and clean from old leaves, I will be fertilizing my hydrangeas, but I will be doing that in March. I don't rush it because I don't want the plants to get the wrong idea that February is it's spring. We don't know what will happen. We can have nice weather in February, then we can have a cold spell. So I'm always waiting with the fertilizer, and then I will be mulching my hydrangeas. You can mulch them with bark, you can mulch them with compost. I mix my compost with potting soil for plants that like acidic soil, because sometimes compost, the one that I'm using, is not that acidic, so I don't want to change the pH level of this soil. So that will be in March, fertilizing, then mulching, and then we are ready for the blooms to appear. I hope you will join others in the comments today, and you will tell us what works for your Annabelles, what you do when pruning. Do you prune them high or low? Do you prune them in autumn? Do you prune them in the spring? If so, February or March, maybe even April. What results did you get? I really hope we can share our experiences, because this gives us just a wider view, wider array of experiences, and we can get something for us too. So hope you join me in the comments. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, hit that bell so you get all of the notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. We'll be pruning a lot in the next videos. Bye.